so weird. I feel
Good.
like most people in podcasts have something to say. I've got nothing to say.
Yeah, that's not even close to the point of podcasting. Okay.
Just a bunch of people with nothing to say, just saying it.
Or not saying it.
The silent podcast.
Well,
This is gonna be a podcast of all body language.
We're gonna have a silent challenge. Welcome to the show with the silent challenge. Okay. How do I get the freaking full screen effect right here? What's happening? What's happening? Where's the? Get this out of here. Just go to my.
What a piece of equipment, man! This is crazy.
Yeah, feel it, dude.
I can feel it.
That table will fall over on you. Be very careful. How do I just back to Twitch? What's happening? There. What was so hard about that? Gosh darn. Mute it. Yeah, so this is how to media production as a, fellow who knows almost nothing about media production.
Right.
Ah!
Twilight Woods. That's not bad.
Did you squirt me? Did you squirt me, dude?
I might have.
You freaking...
Sorry.
This guy stole my name and came in here and sprayed freaking great value Twilight Woods on my face and on my glasses. But he did buy me
Are you snitching right now?
he did buy me a brand new umbrella though.
Dude, this table literally my fault.
That's what I'm saying, dog. It's not good.
That's cool, dude. That's perfect.
You might have to turn it sideways to make it more structurally sound. Or just flip the table around so that it has to reach over the table to you, and then it definitely won't fall on you because there's a whole table in between it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Should I just do that?
Nah.
Hold up. Nope. Hold
It's
up.
perfect.
Well, I need to do something with mine too, so I have to get up anyway. Wait, let me find a sound. There's a bunch of sounds. Yep. Hold up. Hold up. A lot of these are pretty aggressive, so just hold up here. Hold on. Yeah, that's all. That's all I can get. Otherwise, they will send me a bill. Watch this. Watch this. This is fucking. Oh yeah. Check this out. We're cutting this. No, we're not. We might. All right.
It's fine. We're fine.
This is how to podcast. Just throw this stuff. See, it's perfect. See, you didn't even have to move.
Yeah, you're right.
It's called service. This is worth $20.
That's worth $20.
That's worth $20. I'm holding out.
To who?
Stock market.
The stock market.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Is that who you hold out to? Who do
Don't
you
spend it
hold
all
out
at
to?
once, man.
Who do you hold out to?
Jesus.
Okay, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ugly Franco Show. This table still sucks. You know what? I don't think I want. I think I want these problems. But who definitely doesn't want these problems is this podcast we're about to have right now, because it's happening. It's happening. So you can. What do you think about the current? The
Current?
Yeah. What do you think about the current?
What do I think about the current? I don't currently think anything.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good answer. All right. only get tables that allow the arm to spin on.
It's an awesome piece of equipment right there.
It's gotta be spinny for me, bro. It's gotta be spinny.
This is awful. It's happening. We should just move both of our chairs farther into the corner.
We've been moving things around all day.
That's
I've been watching you move things around. This is how it goes.
That's true.
The whole podcast. Just rearranging everything. Well, that's it.
All right. Yep, that's the show. So should we leave?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Down for some barbecue. Who's that? Now it's, I don't even know how this works. Like I don't have any social media.
So that's the Twitch chat. So when people come here, then that's where they are. That thing is a camera. It records in like 4K. It's going to be on YouTube. It's pretty good. And then that thing is a podcast board. So it's not a mixer. It's not a music mixer. It's a podcast board.
Podcast board. It was like something a DJ would have on a spin table.
Right? But can't make any music on that. Just sounds.
Like that Captain America thing you had running.
That's the Star Wars anthem. That's the Star Wars theme song made by freaking Robin Williams.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, John Williams. This thing's gonna die. This thing's gonna fall. Told you, I haven't done a podcast for a while.
Yeah, man, I'm just chilling.
Yeah, so we're live. Welcome to the Ugly Franco Show. Usually we start out with a skit. So.
With a skit. I got a skit for you. You ready? I think we should play a game real quick of High-Low Buffalo. You ever played that game?
What?
High-Low Buffalo. You ever played that?
I'm not in right now. Thank you. Call me again later.
You're in. It's okay. All right. So this is how it works. So High-Low Buffalo. So the first thing, so I actually just learned this off of another YouTuber.
Bring that closer to your face.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me now?
I forgot to turn the earmuffs down.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the mic's probably actually in a great position. We
Okay,
just
so-
need to turn the earphones up, but it's all good.
So I said I didn't have any social media platforms. The only thing I really have is YouTube.
Okay.
And I have the suggestions shut off just so they can't just, blurb just random stuff.
It's the worst. Right?
It feels that way. But I saw this
Wait.
one YouTuber.
You're not in it very good. Okay, keep going though. Just keep going.
Oh, you're good. I saw this one YouTuber who he said that there was this big icebreaker that he used with a lot of new people that he would meet, and it was a game called High-Low Buffalo.
Okay.
So how it works is you have to give me something high, a good thing that's going on in your life. So something that you're proud of, that's a high. Then you have to give me a low. So then you have to tell me something that isn't going so great right now. Something that you wish would be better, or something that you're working.
This is not a
to
skit
improve.
though.
No,
This
no,
is a
no.
skit?
No, it's something different. And then Buffalo, that's a wild card. You just tell me something different about yourself that I don't know about.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
All right.
Okay. Let me think. Okay, High-Low Buffalo?
Yep.
Dude. Somehow there's a satellite dish on top of my apartment building right now that feeds me live audio from the White House. That's a pretty good high.
What?
Pretty good high. It's live audio from the White House itself. I'm pretty pumped on that. So that's the high. The low,
Okay.
the low is they're also listening to this.
Oh,
It was a
sure.
trade.
Yeah.
It was a trade. And then the Buffalo is something wild.
Yeah, just something out of the box that a lot of people don't know about. It's hard talking about yourself, isn't it?
I was left in a desert on a planet called Tatooine.
Called what?
Tatooine.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Deal.
It's true.
Awesome. Okay, I'm being held against my
You're on the
will.
Ugly Franco
Being held
show
against my
here.
will right now,
You're on the Ugly Franco show here. Welcome.
I think
you
you gotta
could.
go.
Hey, just do this with it really quick, and then your face is gonna be seen better from that by that camera. Just do
Doing this.
just flip it, turn that thing. Yeah, and then now your face is yeah. So, dude, this is Josh. This is Josh Smith. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here, I suppose.
Hello, Buffalo. Hello, Buffalo. Come on, dab me up.
Turkey. There we go.
Oh, dude.
Got him.
No, he turkeyed me.
No, it was good though. I've used it a couple times, and
Turkey?
no, the high-low buffalo game.
Okay. All right. You want me to be serious? Okay. I'll do it. A high is, dude, I'm really pumped that this is happening because I haven't done a Ugly Franco Show podcast in a while, so people are going to be really pumped. Seriously. Okay. Hope so. And then a low is what?
Yeah, just something that's not going on
Nah, but
the way you want it to right now.
I mean, but nah. Everything is good. Like, life is good.
I love that. Good.
Like, life is just good.
Good. And a buffalo, so something that's not a lot of people know about you.
I don't know.
One thing. Come on, there's got to be something. Basket weaving, what is it? There's something.
Basket weaving. How'd you know?
I just know.
Basket weaving is the
I read minds.
best. It's my favorite.
Deal.
Everybody knows everything about me. Nobody knows nothing. That's how it goes.
That was deep. That was deep, bro.
No, you do it. I've been talking the whole time.
Do what? Oh, high-low buffalo?
You do it.
Ooh, high. Well, this year, over the last year, I've really gotten to know God a whole lot more, a whole lot better. And with that comes a certain kind of mind renewal. So you, or I, have found that, being closer to Him, my mind is renewed in a lot. It's really hard to explain, and I'm not very good with words. Hold on, let me think about it.
Nah, bro, you just talk it out.
The closer you get to Christ, the more your mind starts to work like His does. And so you start looking at people differently. You start seeing different situations differently. You start to perceive good and bad things as, blessings, and also blessings in another realm, because, trials and tribulations are just hammer blows and, chisel strikes that just mold us to who we are. So you can be grateful for both good and the bad. You just start to look at things differently. So that's a high. A low would be, it's not an easy thing to do. It's something that you have to really work on a lot, but it's worth it.
We've got a spiritual man, ladies here, ladies and gents. It's refreshing to meet somebody that is like, because I haven't been in church for so long. I've just been meeting other people, people not in church. And so it's like really refreshing to me, like somebody that just wants to talk about God. Like somebody just wants to actually talk about what we're like supposed to talk about all the time. It's like super refreshing.
And we never really take the time to circle back to it. It's crazy because this is a God-shaped, formed universe. He created everything in it. He created
I subscribe.
So anything that is involved in this universe or that is involved with you has to be involved with Him. It can't not be separated from that.
Yeah.
But we overlook it a lot. We get distracted, and especially now. And I'm no, exemption from that rule either. I've been distracted myself.
Yeah. So what makes it like hard? Because the low was like also doing it. The high is this, and then the low is also this. Yeah. What's like specifically kind of like hard? Like what's like a hard thing?
Well, I'm 25 years old. I'm almost 26, but really, from a young age, when you're being formed and coached and taught by outside, influences like your parents and your teachers and your friends, and pretty soon you start to think like them and talk like them and handle life as it comes, as they would. And you start to form this identity. You start to form this self. And unfortunately for all of us, we have it. Something happened?
Well, I just didn't even check to see that it's on mic 1 and 2, but yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
I hear you though.
No.
This is shambles of a podcast. First podcast back. The room is in a mess. Just wasn't set up for 2 people. And now I'm acting. This is an insight to who my mother is. That whole manic, like running around for the first like hour. That's like who my mom is.
Yeah. I see.
And I just had a little panic attack
I
because,
noticed.
but I wasn't like freaking out. But like I had to make it.
man.
I had to make it the way I wanted to.
You were fluffing up
straight
the
up,
room, man.
Straight up. Like I wasn't gonna be happy until it was like the way I wanted it to, and I just didn't plan on working today at Domino's, so like it threw me off completely.
Perfect. It's homie. But yeah.
It is tough though. It is tough though. Being a Christian, you like learning more about it, and then living as a human being is like, it's like the next. It's like a whole different like.
Everything's got to change.
Yeah, everything.
It has to.
You see this guy? He's real.
Trying to be. I'm not perfect by any means, and by no means am I any, qualified to be kind of a spiritual teacher. These are just things that I've come to notice and have come to believe with myself and my journey personally on this mud rock floating through this universe.
Yeah.
These are just the conclusions that I'm starting to come up with as I'm hitting the age of 25, almost 26.
Yeah.
And it's really, it feels like I was asleep all those years, and then I woke up and didn't even realize I was sleeping.
Yeah.
When you wake up and realize that life is more than the Monopoly game that we're all playing day by day.
And then tell us about yourself now. Your name is Joshua Smith. Is it Joshua all the way?
Yeah, yep.
For sure.
Joshua Michael Smith. Isn't that the whitest name you've ever heard in your life? Bro?
Joshua Graham White.
I
Look
know.
at us whites right
No,
here.
I'm really just dark white, so yeah.
Dude,
Right.
how many tattoos do you have?
Oh, over 20.
He's cooler than me.
Oh, dude, they're just
He's cooler than me.
it's just ink, dude.
He's the better Josh.
Anybody can get tattoos.
He's the better Josh. I'll say it now. Okay, so where are you from? Where were you born?
Yeah, Kearney, Nebraska.
You were born in Kearney. You moved around a lot,
Where were you
though.
born?
Lincoln, and then we moved around a little bit, and then Lex is where I settled when I was like 3.
Oh, okay. So you moved around quite a bit growing up too.
Just a couple times.
Just a couple times?
Before I was 3.
How old were you when you were moving?
We moved
Oh, it was before you were 3. You made both of those moves.
in Lexington. Yeah, well, parents made I'm just a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We went to California for a little bit. Too expensive there. Dad was like, "What is California?" Came back to Nebraska. Everybody hated him in California for sure. And then he came back and he was like, pastor now, just get a job at a church. Because that's what he did. That's what they did. Just at that level, just being married and broke, pastors and stuff.
Sure.
What did your parents do when you were born?
My mom, she when I was born, I don't know what she did. I think she was 24 years old when I was born. So about my age now. So she had a lot on her plate at a young age. Yeah, but what she did, I'm not sure. She later went to nursing school. Now she's a nurse in Colorado. That's what she does. Yeah, she's great. She did a good job.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What'd your dad do?
Well, my real dad I never met, or I should say real dad. Damn. Biological father. I never
When did he split?
It was before I was born, just as, stuff happened,
Damn.
Yeah, it just,
Straight
I don't
left.
know. I don't even really know all the details, so to go into a full.
Have you ever talked to him? Have you ever wanted to talk to him?
There was a
I
time.
mean, that's tough.
It sounds sad when I say it out loud, but really, you don't miss what you never really had. And so
Wow.
If there wasn't anything there to hold on to, there wasn't anything to let go of. So, you know, I never really felt like there was a piece missing in that specific regard. I think I knew I definitely had a big piece missing, but later to find out it was, you know,
right.
a celestial being, or you know,
Right, but no, yeah. Who was your father figure then? Who was your? Did you have a? So you had a stepdad?
Yeah, I had a couple of stepdads. So I get my last name from the first one, James Smith, and so Joshua Michael Smith is what I kind of he named me. So yeah, I kind of knew him as dad, but yeah, I don't know. He did the best he could too. But he had a lot of siblings too, or kids. So then I had more siblings through him, which was cool. So I had 5 sisters and 4 brothers, really in total.
And you talk to them?
Yeah, sometimes we do. Yeah, I mean we're really close when we need to be, and we you know, we all have our lives and we know it. So we just kind of keep to ourselves, and when something happens, we're like, you know, hey, did you hear blah blah blah, or you know, we kick each other once a month and just make sure we're still alive, kind of thing. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You have any siblings?
Nice. Yeah, one sister. She's in Minnesota.
Nice. Older?
Stuff got real, bro. She had to get out of here.
Sure.
She's younger than me. She's 2 years younger than me. My only sister. The baby sister.
Baby sister.
She's
How
a good
old is she
time.
then?
She's always been smarter than me. Always been smarter than me, you know? How old was what?
How old is she? You said she's younger than you?
Yeah, she's 2 years younger than me, so I'm 27.
Yeah, okay.
So she's, yeah.
Very cool. What's she doing in Minnesota?
She just likes it. She got out of Nebraska. She just got out of here, man.
Oh, okay. Just a change of scenery, huh?
Mm-hmm. Been there for like 2.5 years.
Beautiful.
It's a good time. She has a nice guy. He teaches her about stonks.
About what?
Stonks. The stocks.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Stonks.
All right, deal.
It's refreshing. Dude, you don't have any social media. Just YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's refreshing.
Well, I got Ancestry DNA, if you consider that a social media account. But that's about it. So yeah,
My
Ancestry
guy, dude.
and YouTube.
That was funny.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's a surprising to a lot of people, honestly, especially like girls. Like I've gone on a couple dates with some women, and they've probably tried stalking me, you know, beforehand on the date, and they couldn't do it.
They couldn't.
Yeah, so they
He's the
asked me about it.
unstockable, bro.
Yeah, no trail. But it's just, you know, I think Scripture teaches, as I've been living my life according to the Scriptures the best that I can.
This is what I'm saying right here. Just like, he just wants to talk about God, bro.
Well, I mean, like I said,
It's my favorite.
that's what.
This is
all
why
my
we're
life's about.
here. Like, once you find your purpose and you find it you found it in like adulthood, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's just refreshing.
And we all inherently have the same purpose because we were all created by the same God. So we were created.
Yeah.
We were created
This
for
is what
him.
I'm supposed to be doing. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Don't push it enough.
Be in relationship with Him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a 1 hour a day, 1 day a week. Wash and you get clean
Yeah.
for a minute, and then you go on about your week. And God is with you every moment. Every moment, He is available to you. He's interested in you. He loves you, and we ignore Him. And I'm certainly guilty of that too. I've definitely ignored Him. For years, I ignored Him. For years, He'd maybe get a prayer here and there. I might, make an appearance in church if they were having a potluck afterwards, kind of thing. And I figured I was just doing good enough, but that's not what the Creator of the universe I have found to want. He wants you. He created you. He gave you His power to know. He gave you His power to love. So we're to use those two things, not only just for our own little purposes here on earth, but also for the main purpose, to know and to love Him back. And when we do that, or when I've done that, that's where life starts to make sense. And you do that every day. And you choose to deny yourself every day, and you go after Him, no matter the cost. You just keep doing it. You persistently do it. You seek Him, and you will find Him. Knock and the door will be open. There's things He wants to reveal to all of us. He doesn't want to keep Himself hidden from.
Yeah, that's
He
why I
wants
had
to
you on the
reveal Himself.
pod. I knew that some people need to hear this. I just needed to have the right person on. So what do you do as a day job, and how did you kind of like find your purpose? Because do you like truly like know your purpose, at least for like right now, like you know,
What do you mean purpose?
like what you're supposed to do in life, like as a job, as a human being, like that you're supposed to like push Jesus, and like you're supposed to like live your life that way and be Christian. You know that, but like, and like what the great, like all the scripture, you read the Bible. How you read the whole Bible?
I have been to the Bible once, the whole Bible once. Yes,
Right.
I'm rereading. I go back and I read it every day.
Right.
Or every day might be a stretch. I mostly try to pick it up every day, And there's times when I've been distracted and thought there's something else better to do. But yeah, I read the Bible a lot more. And honestly, I find myself when I go longer and longer without it, I start to get out of tune. I start to get a little anxious or a little depressed or just a little out of tune. But then I tune myself back into His Word. I tune myself back into His presence, into prayer. And I find myself getting retuned back up supernaturally. I mean, you feel it from the inside out. It happens in real time. But most of us don't seek it hard enough or mean it. Darkness 1202.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Darkness is my boy, dude. He's the best.
man?
He's the best. He's like the best. He helped me do everything. He's like, he actually runs my company. He used to. I stepped off. I fell off for a bit. But we're literally coming back right now. But this dude, he's like, are you 17 yet? Are you 16 still? He lives in NASA. Can't tell you where he lives.
Hence the aliens.
Because he's a minor, and I don't want people to find him. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? So that's why his name is Darkness. He did. I don't even know how to describe. He's done everything. He like taught me a bunch of stuff about like how to stream, and like he does things. He edits and stuff like that. He does edits and things.
Yeah.
He's a cool kid.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, man.
16 till December. See, yep.
Yeah. Young bun.
He's a man. So, but what do you do for a job? Like, what do you like? What? Like,
How do I
just
make
for
money?
like right now, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your purpose right now?
Well, I'm a respiratory therapist full time, so that's what I do. That's my main source of income, and it's a great source of, service. I mean, you can find yourself in almost every situation at work or any of us to find ways to serve others and God. Whether it's just picking up a piece of trash in the hallway or, helping other healthcare professionals save a life. Do it for God. So that's one.
Respiratory therapy is super important.
We have our role. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that,
That's okay.
So you said-
a lot of people don't. It's all right.
You guys are actually the ones kind of like pulling the plug, You guys are,
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
so you're there. So when, it's just fascinating that you are around death a lot, and then you kind of like, you have this like great like appreciation for life, bro. You're just like very on fire for like life, and you know what you're supposed to do, and you're just doing it, You're just doing jobs, working. But like you're like talking about like this stuff that nobody's talking about. I feel like nobody's talking about. I see a lot of people.
I know.
I've never met anybody that's kind of like on fire, not in a corny way.
There's definitely a community out there, and I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people that can talk about God way better than I can articulate.
Yeah. But
way
like
better.
local people that are like poor, like broke people, like people that don't go to church. We believe in God. We say we do, but we don't talk like you talk.
Yeah.
There's like a difference,
Well,
which is why I had you on the pod.
I I think we're all kind of called to it. I mean, it doesn't just have to be the ones with a big following or crowd. Even Jesus in his ministry of just 3 years, it wasn't like he was going to the biggest and best places all the time. He was from a little town of Nazareth that, everyone kind of joked like, oh, can anything good come from Nazareth? When people were, speaking his name and, announcing his arrival. And we're called to everywhere. God just doesn't want just, people who have certain kinds of material wealth or, positions of power. He calls everybody. Everybody is his child. If you let him be your God, which he is. But if you form yourself a new God, which most of us do by just serving ourselves, then we can get out of tune very fast. And we see it around. I've felt it myself, looking to other things like alcohol and chasing a bunch of women, or really bad music to make myself and my identity puffed up, and just try to back up the kind of character that I was trying to build, or watching certain movies, or just stuffing it with whatever, trying to just fill that infinite hole. But the only thing I have found that can fill infinity is infinity itself, which is God. He's the only one that's up to the job. He's the only one that can do it. Not our girlfriends or boyfriends, and no bottle or any kind of drug can do it. Coffee in the morning can't do it, or your kids aren't going to fill that hole for you. It's and I don't have kids, so it's probably unfair for me to even say that, but I still stand behind it. Nothing is going to fill that infinite hole but infinity himself, a God with no beginning and no end. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And he's there available to us, which is amazing to me. We have an all-powerful, almighty God, this being we can't even comprehend, a mysterious ocean that we can't even discover, and he loves you. And he created you. Mm-hmm. And yet we just think that TikTok's better, or anything else is better or worth our time than actually just developing a relationship with him, which is what we were created to do in the first place.
Right. I find it interesting. I have to put so many more things in me to fill that gap as I get older too. There's more, just more of it. How many coffees a day do I have? 3 if I need the hits, going to the, stuff like that. Used to, if I could afford it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
And
you need more as you get older.
There's things for us here to enjoy.
Which is crazy because you have more conversations with him, and then that kind of fills the void,
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Real conversations when you
fill
believe.
him with every area. You give every area to him, and you will find you no longer need anything else. But here's the magical part. When you no longer need something, you can enjoy it. Because when you don't need something, when you need something, when you need it, and you don't have it anymore, that's heartbreak. You can't truly enjoy something that you need, right?
Yeah.
Because eventually that thing is no longer going to be there. Everything is terminal. Everything has an end, right? So if you need alcohol, eventually it's not going to do it for you anymore. Or, you're going to turn yourself into an alcoholic.
Yeah, no, alcohol is going to kill you.
Right. If you, say you need drugs, right? And one day, what if you run out? You run out of money. Say you need women. Well, what if no women want you right now? Oh, you need a boyfriend. Well, what if no boyfriends are available, or, what God would approve of right now?
Right.
What's left?
It's just you.
And God.
Right.
God is left. God is eternal. God is infinite. If you put your trust in him, and if you make him stone one of the house that you build, and his trust, you trust him fully, and there's no reason not to. This is his universe. You are his creation. Why wouldn't you trust him? He's going to have things planned for you way better than you could have ever planned yourself, okay? Because it's his universe. So let's stop. I mean, we have to stop trying to think we know better and can do better without him. We're fooling ourselves, and the devil's gonna have a heyday with us when we do that. He is just gonna spin us around and around and around and around. And the only thing that can get us off of that is him. And what does he say? He says, "Be still and know that I am God." He's saying, "Trust me. Relax."
It's facts.
But
Dude, I'm saying, like, nobody talks like you, bro. You have, like, this, like...
it's not just me. I'm not very articulate, but the Holy Spirit jumps in and helps. And he knows that he has to, because if he
Bro,
doesn't,
you
then I
just,
start
like,
fumbling
talk
over
like
words,
that.
But,
Yeah, I'm like... It's like a pastor. It's like you preach, you know?
well, the way the world looks right now, and I don't think anybody can deny that we are seeing evil erupt in ways that we have never seen evil erupt before. Even we notice it in our generation. We're 25, 27 years old.
Yeah.
Young Darkness 1202 out there, only 16 years old. I'm sure he's seen this kind of stuff, pop up already around his area. But we are so desensitized to it. We hear it in our music. We see it on our TV. With the way we talk to each other, with the way we treat each other, with the news. I mean, we are just so desensitized to, evil that we don't recognize it or smell it when it's right in front of our faces. Well, that's a scary world. So that's a world of darkness.
Right.
So, and what we're called to do as Christians, as Christ followers, it's not about joining a religion. It's not about, getting clean before you get in the shower. It's about coming as you are, because it's exactly how God wants you, as you are. Just get over here. I don't care about the rest of it. We'll sort that out later. Just come home. That's what he wants.
Right.
And when we do that and we become children of God, we start reflecting God's behavior, and we start preserving the world, and we start showing light in the darkness, and we start helping other brothers and sisters wake up, pulling them out of this Monopoly game, pulling them out of this depression, these dark holes that they're building for themselves. And we're trying to show them that God is the answer, but they don't want to listen because they don't want to follow the rules, or there's usually some sin that someone isn't wanting to get rid of. And that's the only reason people don't turn to God. They're ashamed. Oh, well, I can't come to God right now because I got this. Oh, well, I can't, face God right now because I'm guilty of this, or I don't want to give up this. And God says, whatever, just get over here and we'll figure it out. I mean, I can't count the number of things that I had wrong with me when I went to the divine mechanic. But you don't fix your car before you take it to the mechanic. You just take it as it is and you'll figure it out. That's how he says. He says, come here, we'll get it fixed. I'll tune you up. We'll shine you down. We'll clean you up. We'll make you sparkling new again.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's free. Therapy isn't free.
Yeah.
Drugs aren't free. Those things have costs to them.
Yeah, it's true.
But God says, come here. This is home. Come back home. You've wandered away for too long. Now you're depressed and you're anxious and you're distracted and you're trying to find me and everything else that isn't me. So come home. Come back. And when we do that, that's when we find our true purpose and how life is supposed to actually be. But it's also really hard in a culture that is so self-indulged.
Right, yeah, we have everything.
Well,
I was listening the other day, they eat mud. They make mud cookies.
who's this?
Some country, you know what I'm saying? They got a little bit of their local salt. And they got a little bit of local spice. And they don't have any fresh water.
Yeah.
So they just find water in puddles that bikes drive through and stuff, like puddles. Oh. And they put mud out. They just put it in the sun. They don't have anything to cook it in. They just put it in the sun. They just don't have anything to eat over there. And we're over here just smacking on those, which, by the way, are making me have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
live,
step out.
do whatever you want, leave. Yeah, I don't care.
So coming out this way. Made it, huh?
Oh, do you have you? I don't care if we do it on camera, but you do. You don't.
No. Just a vape.
Right.
All right, we're back in. Look at this.
So yeah, dude. You're just a fascinating human being, bro. Why is it unmuted? Oh, did you unmute it?
Did I? I don't think I touched anything.
You good? I do want my headphones up. Could you turn the knob 2 up on that thing? Knob 2? Yeah, turn it like the middle or something. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's gonna be pretty loud actually. Turn it down quite a bit.
Cut it back.
Yeah. That'll probably be good.
These are kind of comfy headphones.
Well, yeah, I try to make them.
NGL.
I try to make them comfy for you. You're gonna be here for hours.
Hours, huh? We're gonna be here for 4 days. It's a 4-day podcast.
I mean, you know, dude. So like, for real, what's your testimony? How did you like, when did you find God for the first time? Were you raised around God?
Yeah. I was. Oh, there we go. Put the knee up. 25 getting old now. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the microphone thing.
Right? I need to get just lavalier mics so that the microphone is deleted.
Testimonies they're important. I think everybody's got one who has.
Yeah, everybody's got a story.
has
What's your
testimony.
Yeah, but what's like? How did you find like God for real? Like, how did you? You told me.
Well, there's two sides to every story, right? And God's
Right.
side is the right one, but I'll tell my version of it. So, I was raised in a Christian household. I grew up in the United Methodist Church, going there every Sunday school and such. And I knew the stories, and I don't think I ever doubted God's existence. I think for somebody that's
Me too. That's how yeah.
is that right? Oh yeah, right, yeah, 'cause
I never really doubted it, you know?
right.
I've always kind of like believed it.
Yeah. So some people struggle with the
I
doubt
bought
piece. Like the doubt piece is something that
Yeah, which you should have. You should question. He says, like, question it. Questions are good.
yeah, it's good to have a discerning mind and look at the evidence for yourself. I mean, don't believe in this Jesus guy just because, some guy on a podcast said to, or because some guy preaching at the church said to, but read the 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We've got versions of the Bible that are translated versions. A lot of people think that has been filtered and telephoned down throughout it's not like that at all. But read the Gospels for yourself. Look at the evidence of the life that Jesus lived, the things that he said, and the things that he accomplished, and the eyewitnesses that said, "Yep, that happened." It's a little naive, in my opinion, to think that the Bible is going to have every answer for every possible little minute detail about history. People will come at the Bible sideways because of dinosaurs, or they want to answer a lot of scientific questions in a book about the world's and the universe's history, in your history, in my history. But I think I just went off a little bit of a tangent there. My testimony, yeah. So I did grow up in a Christian household, and I knew God. I knew of him. So I knew he existed, so I just knew of God, and I knew that one day that he would be there to answer to, but I didn't really invest a lot of time in the relationship, and I don't imagine many of us as children, I mean, I'm sure that there are nowadays, I hope so, but many kids that really fully grasp the relationship that needs to be nurtured there.
Bring it up a little closer.
Until later. So, fast forward.
I would agree with that. I mean, I was around church. I was in church. Sunday,
Yeah.
Wednesday. Every week, Sunday and Wednesday.
Sunday and Wednesday every week you were in church.
every week.
Yeah.
And then I had in high school, I literally had keys to the youth group building, so I was just like at the youth group building with the other kids, like practicing songs. We were like in the band
Yeah.
in like high school.
So you were in it.
But, like,
you were
yeah.
around it.
Oh yeah, I was raised in the cult, bro. I'm just kidding.
The cult.
I learned about Scientology hard for like 2 days, the last 2 days. That's a cult. I didn't know how crazy that was.
I don't know much about Scientology.
Oh, dude, you'll hate it. You'll get mad. You'll literally get mad, Josh.
Well,
You're gonna watch it and be like mad.
I don't know. It's
What they're doing to like kids? They just like they think that kids are like their own like people. You just treat them like people, so they leave them crying. They leave the 16-year-old girls and under to like take care of them. No other adults. It's a compound. You can't leave. There's only 2 places, L.A. and someplace in Florida. And yeah, bro, they get paid $50 a week. They live there. They go out and do jobs in these nice buildings. But anybody that comes in with a YouTube camera is like shut out, called cops.
right. Huh. No, I don't know much about it.
Bro, you'll literally get mad. Do you watch many documentaries?
Not many. No.
But so what do you watch on YouTube? Sermons or?
Yeah, I've there's quite a few good Christ following channels that I've looked at. The George Janko show one.
Yeah. Right? And he's doing it big time with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, but the Jesus wave right now is huge. I'm just joining it, really.
Good.
The Jesus wave is huge.
I hope so.
When Trump, yeah.
I mean, that's what needs to happen. I think
It's happening. Look at you.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
You're the living truth of it, bro.
I know. I just one of the fish that turned around and went upstream or downstream. I don't know. But I'm glad God found me. Yeah, he had to come find me. It felt like, you know.
Right. So tell us that story.
Long story short, just like it really wasn't any kind of a big story. Like it wasn't like like I lost somebody in a big traumatic accident or
No,
it
just the
wasn't-
moment it turned for you, like really the moment you were kind of like, man,
Yeah.
I'm crying out right now.
I think it was when I had everything and yet I still knew I had nothing. You know, I didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. You know, like we didn't live poor, but we weren't rich either. And I didn't always live in the coolest of places. So when I finally got some money in my bank account, and when I finally had a car that was made in the 2000s, and when I finally had a life that I had always kind of pictured, you know, I felt like I was there. I had a good job and a good place to live and a good car, and you know, if I wanted to date a girl, usually I could find one pretty quickly. Like I just had everything that I thought that I wanted. I was drunk every night, bar hopping, like just pretty much partying wherever I wanted to, you know, which is pretty much this life everyone's living now. You know, it's not too much different, you know. I shouldn't say everyone, but a vast majority of my generation is and younger. And probably every generation has had these issues. But anyway, I was driving around.
no, it's real, yeah.
And I won't lie, I was hammered. I was hammered in my car, and I should not have been driving. And if I would have been pulled over and arrested, they had every right.
Yeah. What were you driving?
My car. It was
It's the
my car downstairs, the Kia. Yeah. So I was driving that around.
Kia Soul, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
The real ones know that's what I started whipping. My mom's car.
They're not bad rides, man.
Oh, dude, do your speakers light up?
No.
Okay, it's all good.
They don't light up.
Okay, so you're whipping that thing.
So I'm whipping that thing around.
Absolutely
I'm drunk. It's
wasted.
probably like 2 a.m. Like the bar's just shut down, and I'm taking inventory of everything. And I'm just like, man, I've got this, and I've got this, and I got this, and you know, I'm like, by goodness, I've got this too. And yet it just felt empty, and I'm just like, what are we destined to? I'm like, is it gonna be? Oh, sorry, I just kind of caught my eye.
Me too.
But
Broken.
I'm just like, what am I destined to? Is it just going to be a life of trying to buy a nicer house, a nicer car, getting a family, and then we die? Is that all that there is on this giant mud rock floating around the universe for no reason. And so I got mad. I got really, really, really mad. And I parked my car. I got out of my car and I started looking up and yelling at God. I found myself mad at him. And, or I thought I was mad at him. Really, I was just mad at myself. I didn't know it yet. But really, that was the first time I had shown God any attention in a long time. Not like that. Not with true faith like that.
Right. You believed that you were talking to someone.
Yeah. So even though I was yelling at him, which isn't it's something that I later, I believe I apologized for, but I was like, at the end of the prayer, I felt good. And I thought maybe, well, I just got it off my chest. Maybe it's just good to say it to somebody. But really, it was because I was praying. I was plugged into the Creator for the first time in a long time, and I felt a sense of peace I hadn't felt in forever. And I didn't put the pieces together then, but I felt better. And I ended the prayer with the words, I've done it my way. Let's do it your way.
Yeah.
And I got in my car and I went home. And nothing happened for a couple of weeks. Nothing extraordinary happened. Not some big divine palm didn't come out with a note written on it. It wasn't anything like that. But it was just 2 weeks later, after consistently starting to pray to God a little bit more, just, the Lord's Prayer here and there, I finally, pulled the Bible out and I dusted it off after like 15 years. And just a couple of weeks of just slowly just bringing God back in. And then, boom, one day I'm folding laundry. One of my least favorite chores in the house. I hate folding laundry. Detest it. Especially tube socks.
He's a man.
Trying to, anyway.
Did you see my room?
I know, it's okay.
A big pile of clean clothes next to the bed.
I feel you, man. We don't like clothes. So I'm folding tube socks out of the dryer, and I just feel different. I feel this presence from inside, and it was almost as if God was right next to me, closer than my own breath, and I felt that. I couldn't really articulate into words then, but now, like looking back, I can kind of paint the picture better. But I felt close to Him, really close. And I went and I looked in the mirror. I like dropped the socks, and then I went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and it was almost like, I was like looking at myself. I knew He was looking at me better, and I just said the words, "There you are," and I kind of broke down and cried and realized He's been there the whole time. That was the feeling I knew I felt, and
How old were you then?
This was this last year.
And how old are you now?
So I was just after I turned 25.
Yeah.
I prayed that, I yelled at God, and then 2 weeks later I'm in the bathroom, looking, at myself and finding God with me closely for the first time. And so then pretty much that just kind of kicked off, kick-started. And what that was, I believe, was the Holy Spirit saying hello. Was God, who is the Holy Spirit, coming to live and dwell within me, and He was pretty much introducing Himself at that point, being like, I'm right here, let's do this thing. And so, and I had a lot of things to get rid of. I was drunk all the time. I was watching bad stuff on the internet. We all know how that goes, right? Yeah. I was cussing and listening to bad music and watching things I really probably shouldn't be watching, and just a really cluttered, disgusting life. The things that like I would think God would not want nothing to do with right now. Things that I felt, maybe I need to get older and mature, and maybe then I'll be ready for God then. No. It was, you get here right now, and just come home, and then we'll work it out later. And over the course of a year, he'd start shedding off bad habits, things I could never have done myself. Yeah. Right. So like all those things in the we can all.
How did he do that? Did he make you busy? Did he make you like unable to get things? Or was it like a mentality switch? Like, was he like there more when you were like craving one of the things that you kind of knew you shouldn't do?
Right. So here's that is, when you feel that presence of God, and as some would say, you've been up to the mountain, you've tasted of the divine treasure of just God's presence and the peace and the joy that brings to you. It's not coming into prayer and asking for something. It's not coming into prayer and this, with all this guilt. And it's not, sometimes prayer is just knowing He's right there. and he's looking at you now like you're looking at me, but he can see you even better. And with that brings me true peace, and I imagine it can bring anybody true peace if they just sat there and tried to do it, but they don't, because the devil brings these distractions to keep you away from anything close to
Yeah, it's so easy to not talk to God. There's so many things that you can do.
We're in such a rush culture.
Absolutely ridiculous.
We live such superficial lives because we're trying to taste a little bit of all of life, right? Like, God forbid something happens and we don't know about it. God forbid, someone's doing something that I'm not doing. God forbid there's an island I haven't been to yet. Like, who cares? So we're trying to get a little taste of everything, and like, oh, I want to be single. Oh, I want to have a family. Oh, I want to have kids. Oh, I don't want to have kids anymore. Oh, I don't want to have a wife anymore. Oh, I don't want to have a husband anymore. We're unhappy with right now because we want what we think could be. We're so unhappy with right now. Somebody's always doing something better than what we're doing, according to us. But if we were to just sit still for a minute and realize you are already complete, and this Monopoly game doesn't matter, it's just details, it's fluff, it's just props. The real meat and potatoes of this existence is to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. That is what we're here to do, to learn, to get past ourselves. But our culture says, no. Find yourself, love yourself. No. Self-help, get, for yourself. We're all so consumed with me, and why are we so unhappy? Because it's, we're too inward, right? We should be looking at God, because then God says, you're mine. Everything's okay. Trust me. But we're not. We're looking at ourselves. What can we do better? What do we got to do? How do we have to be? How do we have to talk? What do we have to buy? What do we have to do to retire? And I need to be there and there and there and there and there. No, God says, be still and know that I am God. That's what we're to do. Everything else is added on. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first God and his righteousness, and everything else is added to you. But by the time that it is, you don't even need it anymore, because you already know that you have everything that you need. But we won't believe it. And that's the truth. That's what Jesus came down to share.
That's the truth.
That's what's hidden in all of those little parables that he's pointing out.
That's the truth. That's why bro, you hear him? He says the truth. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts that it's taken me 7 years of trying to run a stupid podcast to meet somebody that I am like, hey, bro, come talk about God on the podcast. Usually we just do debauchery here.
Sure. And debauchery's fun too, man. Like, it's
it's a good time.
Fun.
Yeah, it's not all terrible, but
dude, yeah, fun belongs to God.
I've definitely never had somebody like this guy. And I'm just like,
well,
something's happening. Something's happening in my life, like you showing up right now and being a real one is like, I'm listening, It's like God is coming into my world and being like, listen to you. Listen to this.
God comes
after
real. Us in all kinds of
This is real. Yeah. I'm just exposing my life. This is like a turning point.
Good. And as it should be. And that's what Jesus came. Jesus was history's greatest turning point. Because that was the point in time when we can finally taste the treasure of what was actually supposed to be, what the garden was originally designed for, was complete union with God, complete trust with him, just us and God, God and us. That's how it was supposed to be. But then we got, the serpent came and offered us knowledge of good and evil, knowledge of self. And then so we stopped looking at God.
Freaking ladies, man.
And started looking at ourselves, and we became unhappy real quick. Then we started killing each other, taxing each other, building walls against each other, forming nations against each other.
Yeah.
Starting rumors against each other, gossip against each other, talking behind each other's backs.
Yeah.
But what else do we have here besides this? Because, like I said, we're all just on this one giant mud rock, right? In the middle of this gigantic, crazy universe that science seems to fully know. I don't think they claim they fully know, but I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else do we have out here besides us and God? Nothing. We're naked out here. We're pretending we're not, but we are.
Yeah.
But
Bro.
people have to want to find him. That's the free will choice. Because people can hear it all day long. People can hear these words all day long, and they can get real excited about it. But if they don't go into their room, shut their door, and pray to their Father in secret, diligently, put effort into the relationship, That's what it takes. Imagine having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and all you do is read about them. Or you go to a building once a week for an hour and you learn about them.
For real.
And maybe you send them a text here and there with something they want to hear, or vice versa. Is that a real relationship? I don't think so. Those things are good.
This is how you have a relationship.
Yeah, a relationship is down to the bone every moment. You and him and you walking together, with you with the steering wheel, but him with the navigation system, right? Just trust his navigation skills. Nothing happens that he doesn't approve of, right? I mean, he's the God of the universe, yes, but he's also the God of the atom. He's the God of the molecule. There's no problem too small or too big for him that he doesn't want to help you figure out.
Right? And when you say go in your room and pray, it's crazy because you found him not there. So like somebody listening to this is at home and they're like, okay, I'm going to go to my room and pray. But neither of us found him in our rooms praying. We found him like out, like doing things. It's just interesting.
Yeah, and so let me kind of...
And I'm not saying don't go to your room and pray, because I get that too. But we'll still talk about it. But like, it's just interesting. Certain people are out there doing things.
Is an intimate discussion. It's an emptying of your heart. It's and it's sometimes it's not even any word. Sometimes it's just prayer is just spending time in the presence of God. You're setting aside a time to come before. And here's the thing. Yes, God is all loving. God wants to be your best friend. God wants to be there for everything, but he is still God. I don't want anybody to forget that. He is still the divine king of the universe, with all authority, with all wrath. He's all love, but we need to have some reverence for him at the same time, and not just all the time rush into prayer, with quick little, blah, 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 here you go. Or just, this is what I think you want to hear. Forgive me. And then here you go. Take some time, clear your mind, understand you are coming before the God of the universe, who dwells in unapproachable light, who has angels of the thousands upon thousands surrounding him, chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come, 24 hours a day, all the time, whose thunder and lightning surrounds him, and if you saw his face, you would die in your present form. So we need to have some reverence and understand who we're talking to. But he loves you, and he created you. That is the God that we serve. Let's not ignore him, right? But we forget that. We forget that a lot. I forget that a lot. And like I said, I'm not perfect, and I am, like I said, I barely have any experience with talking about this kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of other people out there that are better. But like I said, this is just me.
Who do you watch? What do you read? Do you have any books? Non-Bible books. Or who do you watch on YouTube?
It's really sad because I'm super bad with authors and books, and I wish I was better at that. There have been a number of books that I've read that have kind of given me some deeper insight.
I don't got no books.
Wings of Silver by, I think, Joe. Wings of Silver. It's not really like a book about anything specifically, but it's a book concerning different quotes in scriptures, about love, strength, wisdom, and faith. And so it was almost kind of like a treasure chest of just wise proverbs and
One of those good.
Yeah, I
It's
liked
got
it.
like a couple like good like 2-liners,
yeah,
1-liners,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Right,
But
so-
big paragraphs of like good thoughts.
Yeah, it was kind of
Okay,
like little
alright.
pieces of nourishment. Is kind of how it was. Because
Okay.
if I was lacking in love that day, maybe I'd go and read a couple of those passages, and maybe it would kind of remind me what love was supposed to be about. Or if I was lacking in faith, it would be like faith nourishment. So you give me like a little bit of that. Now, the main source of all those things is God, so I've learned to replace a lot of what outside sources, and that's what God slowly does. He slowly starts taking
Right. He's
those
very
things,
selfish. He wants like a lot more from you.
and that is
Way more from
and
you.
He's the
He wants
source.
everything.
Nothing is going to be better than him.
And
Nothing
people
will
people
be.
get scared of that though. They're like, he wants everything. He wants me with my life. Of course he does.
Wasn't that
He's
the-
better than you.
Wasn't that the original line?
He's
in the
gonna
Bible?
have like better plans for you. You know.
Right.
He has like better plans for people.
Yeah.
Like we thought that we were doing great, and then we turned it over, and now we're seeing like so much more that
Yeah.
wasn't gonna get. We weren't even gonna get it
Exactly.
because we were unwilling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He fills our cup and it overflows when we let him, when we trust him.
Yeah.
That's the things we have to learn. Is we have to give up
Yeah.
our right to self, and we have to start to trust him more.
Yeah.
And that's not an. It's very easy to do, but then again, it's our self, it's our egos, it's this little character we've built that isn't ready to give up that autonomy yet. We have to give full autonomy to God. That is when we find that is true freedom. When we give God full autonomy over our lives, that is when we feel the most free. And I didn't understand that at first. Didn't seem right to me. It seemed kind of backwards to me. But once I finally tasted of that and I understood deeply to what that meant, I understood, and the amount of freedom and peace that you get from that is insane. It's supernatural. It's what separates you from the rest of the crowd in a rush. It's what makes you look a little bit different, and people come up to you saying, "Why do you like all hell's breaking loose around you right now, and yet you stand firm? Like, what do you have that we don't? What is it? What's
yeah,
the secret?"
facts. That yeah.
And then that's when it opens doors into conversation of well, it isn't me. 'Cause
Yeah,
I can't stand on my
want me
own
to be
2 feet.
you want me to be real, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You want me to actually tell you? You don't want me to tell you? Oh, I just had a good sleep and I'm on coffee.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to know. They're like, "Oh well, I take this one prescription medication," or "Oh no, well I go to this therapist."
Right,
Or, "Oh,
right,
actually,
right.
Let me recommend you this book on Amazon."
That's the bullshit stuff. That's like the stuff that's like, great,
and
do
those
it,
thing can
do
help.
it.
I'm not.
But the real reason,
I'm not going to diminish anybody that needs medication for imbalance.
Yeah, no.
Or like there are good books out there, and there are good honest people trying to help. But really, I mean, I didn't want to spend my whole life reading the menu and never actually tasting of the food. And what we're all missing is God.
Right.
And if the longer we spend, dilly-dallying away from that, that is what the devil wants us to do. It wants us to just have paralysis of the analysis of this, of this guy called God. He wants us to lead us as far away from him as possible with whatever it could take, whether it's, firm opinion or maybe you knew a Christian and he didn't, really live a Christian life. So that's your excuse for not trying God yourself. Like Babe Ruth was a dick, but baseball was still a beautiful game. It's like, don't let just one person, I don't even know if that was a dick. That was a Supernatural quote, by the way.
I never watched Supernatural, so I didn't get it.
But
That's funny. No, I kind of look at it like also like I played a lot of sports, so I just like the sports analogy, but you're giving good analogies. It's just like, you get the playbook, the Bible, you're on the team, you say you're a Christian, but are you ever going to get to play? Is he ever going to call you to actually be on the front lines and like do something? Like Daniel existed. Daniel was real. Like David existed. Like there's actual like dudes like King Solomon. Like they're remembered. They're in stories
but why?
because they answered God's call. God called them and he wanted to use their lives as like actual testaments. You think that those are just dead? Those days are just dead? They're done? No. Like there's actual human beings that live on the earth that are going to be like right now. They're going to be detrimental to the part of the story in Earth's little timeline that he has. Him and the angels are up there just cooking up this timeline, just letting it run, watching it, and like, okay, Tim Tebow's out here doing his part, rescuing kids from sex slavery in all parts of the world. Billy Graham was probably one of them. He's gonna be remembered for, he's gonna be like up there with God. God's gonna have him like doing specific things. He's gonna be like important. He is important to God because he lived his life, not for forever, probably. But he was also a dude like us at one point trying to figure it out, and God found him. Yep. So stuff like that. So it's like
the thing about the
I kind of
Bible,
see
too,
it like
with those main characters that you've mentioned is usually anybody that has ever had any good impact in the world was seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then that was just added on to them, right?
Yeah.
Like Billy Graham, you think he was out for, public notice? Do you think he was just out because he wanted to be famous on TV? Absolutely not. I don't believe that. Elizabeth Elliot, another one, amazing female speaker, who held a lot of women's Christian conferences. I don't know too much about her, so I don't want to speak too much on her. But and then name it, David, King Solomon. So some of those examples. Great characters, but they're not the main character of the book. The main character is God.
But he like used their whole entire life.
But he uses
as an example
when they let him. And when we let him, we become main characters in his story too. Just because we didn't make the book doesn't mean we are not a part of God's story. He wrote you into the story just as much as he wrote in King David, just as much as he wrote in King Solomon, just as much as he writes the homeless person that we all walk by at the gas station. We're all written into God's story somehow, but it's up to us to say yes.
Right. When you say yes, your life...
Do we write our own story?
It gets transformed.
Or do we help God write his story, and that's our true purpose is with him?
Right. Dude, and then, like, when you do, like, he just, like... That's when he gives, like, the mission. Like he knows that... Yeah. It's too much. Sometimes I get too much input. You've overloaded my brain.
It's easy to do.
I can't even sentence.
I can cool it off. I know it sounds complicated, but the main theme of the story is talk to God and invite him into every area of your life, and just inviting God into your heart, because the second you do that, he just starts to surgically repair it supernaturally. Like one day you wake up, you just see the world a little bit differently today.
And then he gives you your mission. And then he gives you like an epiphany that you love art. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And then you're going to be one of the greatest Christian artists or something. Like it doesn't even matter. Maybe in your like city, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to be the best that you possibly can or something like that.
Your purpose is always right here, right now. In every second. That's how you can find enjoyment in every moment, because every moment is an opportunity for him. And then when you live in that kingdom, when you live in that world of just everything I do for him, if I'm throwing something away, I'm doing it because I'm cleaning up a house he's letting me live in his universe for a temporary time. I'm washing this dish and it's just another blessing because, oh, look at me, I have a plate, I have a cup. That's a blessing. When I clean, or if I, run and do errands, he's allowing me the gas in my car with a car to go run errands with. Like all these things are just little blessings that he's doing. And when I talk to somebody, am I showing them love? Am I showing them kindness? Because that's your mission too.
Right.
Am I preaching the gospel? Am I sharing Jesus with others? Because that's your mission too. I mean, just because you're not the king of Israel, or just because you're not president of the United States, or have some big platform like George Janko, and George Janko is great. He deserves all of that. But our purpose is not, our job isn't to feed 5,000 people. Our job is to provide the loaves and the fish,
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do. It's not our job to save the world. Our job is just to give what we can and give it to God, and he will multiply it like you wouldn't believe.
Right. I mean, just be the messengers.
Since I've worked at Domino's, I've already talked to so many people about Christ. Matt has come up with questions. You had a couple of
talking to Richard the other day. Yeah,
and just he puts me and us and everybody in situations every day. And most of us can't go by 1 hour of our lives without something to do for God, whether no matter how small it is, no matter how small. It's only our job to say yes or no. And if we live in accordance to him, we will have the adventure of our life, exactly as it was supposed to be laid out. We will find our life when we lose our life. If we lose this life that we have in ourselves and we say yes to him, that is when we find our life. We deny ourselves, we lose our life, then we find it by saying yes to him.
Right. He's literally quoting scripture right now. Do you know those verses? You know them, right? I don't know 'em. I know that they're verses.
Those who want to keep their life will lose it.
Right.
But those who will lose their life for my sake,
for my sake, right there.
will find it.
Right.
So those who will say no to themselves for me will find their life. So
and then, the Luke
one,
one, the deny. You must deny yourself daily, pick up your cross.
that means something has to die. When we carry our cross every day, that means something has to die. And there's only two things that are die: your will or God's will. And I pray that every day you take that hammer and I nail my will to that cross so that God's will may live through me. That is what I try to do. It's a symbol of the cross because it was a Roman persecution tool that they used to kill people brutally. But we use it as Christians as a reminder for what Jesus paid for us eternally, and also what our job is every day as Christians to do, to crucify ourselves so that we may find our life through him. And when we do that, all of a sudden, I haven't been to the therapist in a while. I haven't heard from the devil in a while. I kind of feel pretty good. I feel pretty content. Maybe I don't need that one thing I thought I needed. Maybe I didn't need to get in a relationship right away. Like I'm good because I'm living in accordance with him. I'm doing his will. I'm talking to him. We're enjoying each other. I'm saying, God, thank you for these little things that I walk by every day that I didn't say thank you before. Thank you for Thank you for the paper towels today. Wow, like how cool is that?
Dude, for real.
Like thank you for a car that works. Like thank you for just giving me a warm bed to sleep in. Like who doesn't have that sometimes? Like I think I don't have enough, but really I have more than I need. It's crazy. You do that for me. Like when do we do that? Well, most of the time we're just using God as what Cliff Connectly, I think is how he pronounced his last name. Brilliant teacher. He's helped me a lot. But God's not our cosmic bellboy. He's not just somebody that we just ring the bell and say, "Okay, God, I need this today." Okay, God, okay,
cosmic bellboy.
Yeah. He's not.
Theft.
He's not like that. He's not a genie in a magic lamp that we run to when we need 3 wishes granted for us. Like when that's why we say, "Your kingdom come, your will be done." We don't say, "My kingdom come and my will be done." And if you can help me get there, that'd be great, Father. Like that's not how that prayer goes. Right. Psalms 23, and David, and it was one of my comforting scriptures that I recite it all the time, all day in my head when I'm, if I'm battling thoughts or if I just want to meditate on God's word, it's always there. Psalms 23, most people know it. Maybe I shouldn't say most people, but the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. He helps me lie down in green pastures, and he leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He leads me along the right paths for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows.
Overflows, bro. I have more than I need.
Exactly. Surely your goodness and love will go with me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We're called here even today to dwell in the house of the Lord right now, and the house of the Lord is built on trust and love. So when you dwell in that place, when you dwell in God's love, when you dwell in the trust for God, you are at full peace. Nothing can
Trust
shake
is
you.
at an all-time low, man. It is hard to trust people. And people are not trusting inherently, I would say. We don't trust.
Yeah.
You have to build trust. And it just feels like it's at an all-time low. Bubbly.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just what we put our trust in is what is important.
Right. Like, we can't even trust each other to, like, be good humans, you know? Thinking about trusting God for some people is...
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but, like, these are the people that I'm hoping this podcast falls upon. They just, for some reason, find this podcast at whatever point, It's on the internet. We're gonna YouTube it. Like, just young people talking like this is important. We're just two single dudes, you know.
That's
Like,
it. Yeah, we're just bacheloring it up.
This is. But
There's nothing crazy special about us. We're just hanging out.
we
We're
can
just
go
a
out to
couple
the bar.
bros.
We can have a good time. But we can also do this. It's important to me. It matters to me. It's like I'd rather be alone than not go to the bar. And then literally wait. And then you start working at Domino's. And it's just like, dang, God. Are you serious, bro? You put someone in my way again. Because that's what God does. He puts, when you know your purpose, he puts people in your way too. And he says, help them or listen to them.
And it's a domino effect, right? So now me and you talk about these things, and then it
hilarious.
moves you. You nourish your relationship with God, and then you get to go out and nourish other people's relationship with God. And then we domino, and we just domino. We keep domino, baby, and we just keep this movement.
But exactly. That's why when you were like, hang out, I was like, I have a better idea. I want to show people this person. I want to show people, like, this is what we do. This is like real. You know, it's just exploiting like what we do. We've been doing this at Domino's. You know, we're doing it here, making it real. We're making it accessible to other people. This is why podcasting is the best, bro.
We've got nothing.
Nobody will
There's
touch
no
this.
stakes in this, man. It's like we're not doing this for nothing. No one's getting paid here.
No, no, bro. No.
Yeah, but I don't know. When
It pays my
we all
spirit, though. It pays my likes. It pays like that thing, you know.
We all have yeah. You got your journey. We've all got our journeys, but it's just important. Yeah, just keep seeking him diligently. Just keep seeking, and you will find. Keep knocking, and the door will keep being opened. And there's this veil that comes off, and it's come off for me, and it keeps slipping off for me. And the veil isn't something that's like supernatural. It's not like the veil's lifted and all of a sudden you see magical fairies in this like cosmic universe. Like this doesn't work like that. But the kingdom, you already see it, but you don't perceive it through the eyes of Jesus. And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like I didn't, and there's like a
For
lot
sure,
of people
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
But the closer
I
you get
get
to
it.
God, the more of a child of God you become. You start to perceive life through the lenses of how Christ perceived life.
You do.
And you start to look at it not as a what's in it for me game,
Yeah.
not as a climb to the top. It's no longer that. It's just enjoying
Yeah.
each other, enjoying right now, enjoying the toil of
A
your
lot more
labor,
gratitude, yeah.
and enjoying God. And when you just enjoy, and you just live in the moment, and like, oh man, I'm just washing a dish. And you know what? Guess what? Dishes will never be done. Laundry will
Yeah.
never be done. The cleaning will never be done. But thank God for that, because what else do we have to do, right? Thank God for the little things we have to keep on top of, because if we
Yeah.
didn't, what would we do?
Go crazy. We just
What would
do
we do?
things anyway.
Like-
You see what people do.
Every time I clean something, I'm
Always
just like,
doing something.
man, this is just find enjoyment in it, because this is what eternity, kind of like mimics. Like just the little minute, the minutia of every day, the basic humdrum of the day-to-day march, just the little things you always have to do, gassing up the car, sweeping the floor, vacuuming, dusting. You just maintaining your blessings. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just maintaining blessings.
Making
And-
sure you got air in your tires, making sure you got engine oil, making sure the roof's clean the gutters.
Finding enjoyment in your toil, and in Ecclesiastes, the teacher, he talks about that, about, life is ultimately meaningless, and that is why you can be free. Because if it doesn't mean anything, and it's just, toil, and we all have our blessings here, and we maintain it, and you don't have to go anywhere. It's already here. So stop chasing it. And that's what he's trying to say. He's like, he never denied himself any, in Ecclesiastes. It's a quick read. You should read it. It's one of my favorite books of the Old Testament. And, he talks about how he had all the nice things. He had the nice palace with all the nice people to run the palace, and he had great vineyards, and he threw parties, and he never denied himself anything. He had all the riches, and he became all the wisest in all of Israel. And yet he realized ultimately all of it was meaningless. And whether or not he was an unwise, poor man or an all-wise rich man, we all end up at the same fate, which is back in
Right.
God's arms.
Right.
So why don't we just enjoy our toil, enjoy our food and drink, enjoy each other, and enjoy God? Because it's just there's the beauty in the everyday bull crap that we think is bull crap, but it's just
No, but
for maintaining blessings. And if we start looking at it like that, you start to perceive life differently. You start to look at somebody not as, a hindrance in traffic or somebody in front of you in line that's making you late. You start to look at them not just like another cashier whose job it is to bag your groceries correctly.
Yeah.
They're a child of God, a spirit, a conscious spiritual being in this universe that God created, that God loves, that God values, that God protects, that God is for, that God is with. Treat them with respect. Love them, and you start to look at them differently.
yeah, talking about making it look differently, I'm thinking about like just like the past like 200 years where people started living in like apartment buildings, like living together, taking away the daily toil of like taking care of your farm. And then like the drugs that have shown up in the past like 200 years too. People have always said like alcohol. He made alcohol, just made alcohol, but like the pill popping and like the smoking that makes you not do things.
Yeah.
Like that has like the last 100 years for sure there's been more of like a just move to comfortability. And I'm not the first one to talk about this, but I'm just like that you're supposed to like enjoy your toil. And now we're taking it like I don't have anything to do here. Do my dishes, do my laundry, But like we're supposed to be out hunting and like foraging, taking care of your yard, taking care of your wife, taking care of your big family. And we're like, you want a family in this 2-bedroom apartment? People do it. You're supposed to. But like, like we're more like, I need more space for me. There's too many people around. I don't want to work hard. I don't want to do things. What do you mean you have to mow my yard?
Yeah,
because my thing is
laziness.
my thing is I don't want to mow my yard. So yeah,
Yeah. Laziness is
it's like it's just
no
interesting.
shortage of
It's
that.
interesting. God
And
didn't
I
mean
can
that for
find
us.
myself being lazy sometimes too.
Oh yeah,
It's just we all face it, but there's a balance though, because we have responsibilities. We have things that we need to do to just maintain our blessings, but at the same time, even God rested, and it's biblical to rest.
Yeah.
And the devil
the
wants,
one day he rested. The one day, the rest he's doing stuff, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
People think they just don't.
But we also need to find rest in Him.
More days off.
So enjoy whatever the work is with your hands that you do. Whether you have to go plow 40 to 60 acres with your hands, or whether you sit in a cubicle all day. Enjoy whatever toil. Not all of us can sit in cubicles. Not all of us can be farmers. Not all of us can work in healthcare. Not all of us can deliver pizzas. Not all of us can do whatever it is you do. We all have assigned our portion to keep this world running. And God places us exactly where He needs us.
That's why
We
we're
have
all
to trust
different.
Him. So just enjoy it, enjoy Him, and when He leads you somewhere, you just say okay and trust Him that that's going to be the best possible outcome, even if it leads to death.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
Well, just
Like
if God
what
has,
we're doing here doesn't mean anything. If you die for Him, die because you're on a mission for Him.
right?
You're a martyr. That's a good thing. You died for Him. He died for you too. So that's a pretty good trade.
It's pretty big. It's a pretty big extreme of an example to say even till it leads to death. But I mean that's how
Right, that's extreme.
How serious you want to take God.
You gotta be able to die for it.
your
Nipsey Hussle
relationship.
said it in a song the other day I was listening to. Once you change,
But once you get close to Him, it doesn't even become a question because death is no longer looked at in like a negative light. The only time it's negative is when people aren't in Christ and they die. But I mean, that's not fun.
right?
But
no, yeah. Hell is real. So put it out there. People that say, "Oh yeah, we could talk about God all day." We could also talk about the other side that's very, very real. Yeah, it's tough.
it's out there.
Satan. There's never a recorded day where Satan just stopped doing things. Nobody ever said like Satan took a month off. You think you can like at the beginning
Just
when you were
getting
like
craftier and craftier. He's been
Yeah,
in
he
it
just
for the
does
long game.
stuff.
He's been doing this for 6,000 years.
every day.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop. His people do things constantly. It's a good thing God never stops because your bum ass only talks to God once a week at church. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a lot more than you think he's doing. And that's real stuff. That's just real. But
Yep.
this is my favorite. How you feeling? You hungry? You thirsty? Do you need anything?
Man, I'm good. I'm feeling all right. Yeah.
This is a good time.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for some kind of awakening to happen. You know,
It's happening. We're part of it.
something's got to change.
When that guy got shot and everybody, dude, just completely folded, the Dems just folded. The whole country was red. Everything was blue. Did you see the map of who voted?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude. It was just a red wave. It was just a bunch of Republican votes for a guy that is proclaiming Jesus right now. You know? It's happening. And now,
Whatever it
like,
takes. whatever
he's
it takes to get people
he's
to look at the
literally
gospel.
overtaking. I mean, look at your life. You're able to reach easy. He got to you.
I think
you
the
know.
veil is thinning. It feels that way, and I could be wrong. It may just be my part.
What do you
of the
mean?
journey.
What do you mean the veil is thinning? I'm just not familiar with the term. I understand it, but I don't understand it.
This is a whole other topic, but I believe we're in the end times.
I think so too. I think so
believe we're
too.
in the end of the end times. I believe that there isn't much more prophetically that needs to happen for.
We have AI now.
I think things are just unraveling at a really fast pace.
That's
and,
the end.
These labor pains that we've been in since 1948, when Israel became a nation again. You know, this is the 77th year since Israel has become a nation, and 7's a holy number in itself.
That's facts. He likes 3, 7, 40. Yeah.
He's perfect. But and the way evil is just presenting itself boldly, it's almost as if the tables are starting to turn to where, like, the good evil balance, evil is overtaking the good, and the second that starts to become unbalanced, and now we have a predominantly evil world.
Yeah.
It's just like the days of Noah, in the Old
Facts.
Testament,
Right.
when God wiped
Yeah,
the earth.
what did he do
with
then?
The flood.
Yep.
The first time, it was a global wipe.
Yeah.
He just completely
Right.
just wiped the slate clean, and it feels like it's happening again, but this time the new heaven and new earth will be established, which is amazing, which is good news, really good news. I mean, imagine a world with no tears and no worries and no evil and
Right.
no government, because we're just perfect with Him, how it was supposed to be. But it scares people because it sounds different, and they're used to what they see around them. And like, I'd be a liar if I said it didn't like kind of freak me out a little bit at first, but now it's just exciting. And
It should freak you out. It's kind of scary. We're not meant to think like this. We can't comprehend it. That's why we're not God, When you start thinking about eternity and forever and stuff like that,
because we live in a terminal.
it is overwhelming. You're not meant for it, bro.
This is a terminal domain that we live in. I mean, this domain that we're here has limitations, right? But we are also part of another domain which is non-terminal, and God lives, in the non-terminal domain where there's no beginning and no end, right? And so we are limited to our terminal consciousness. So we're only accessing a certain portion, which is fine. This is what we need, and eventually we will not be bound to that, which will be nice. It'll be nice because we can't comprehend. It's like a fish trying to comprehend us. We can't comprehend divine things, but
Right, exactly.
I do think that the things of Revelation are unraveling fast, and I think
talking about the blockchain, talking about the
return-
one world currency, talking about going to Mars, making Starlink.
I think think the return of Christ is
Like,
ever so near, and we
It's
don't know
happening.
when.
It's now.
But it's our job to just
Probably when we're, like,
stay
old.
lit.
I think
What's
when
that?
we're like, I think when we're old.
I don't think it's going to be that long.
No.
I mean,
Like I think
could be
we'll
wrong.
see 50. I think we'll see 50, but then I don't know after 50 how soon it's gonna happen. But like,
I don't know. I'm not a betting man, right? And nobody knows the time. It's not really any of our business.
yeah,
You know, it's God's timing, and His timing is always perfect. And He's not slow, but He doesn't want anybody to perish. So He wants everyone to have a chance to come. And
right.
find Him.
He's no.
So he's
That's why we're
perfectly
gonna
on
keep
time.
talking about it. We're gonna keep talking about it for the rest of my life, and
But I really think
we have the internet now. We can reach every ear. That's the next thing too. Like we have the internet, so we're gonna give everybody phones, and we're gonna give everybody the ability to watch YouTube in every language. So then, that's how everybody's gonna get the message from every year. And people like me are doing podcasts that reach 100 million people now, 200 million people. We just got to get that 7 billion views. That's literally what we want. We can do it. If the capability is there, we give the message so good that everybody has to.
Well, you just we do our best to talk about the truth, and the truth will, find its way into the dark corners of where it needs to.
Yeah.
For God's purposes,
Yeah.
not anybody else's, for God's purposes. But yeah, man, I don't think we have very much longer. Before, I mean, just have you seen the things going on in Israel right now?
Yeah, I watch everything, bro. I'm on every social media,
Jerusalem
so I'm
was on
very
fire
much.
last week.
I'm watching lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things are just
I
happening.
watch Qatar news called Al Jazeera. I watch
news?
yeah. It's yep. All sorts of world news, and then of course like the journalists, the individual journalists that are just all over the world. Anybody with like a phone and a couple 100,000 views is now a journalist to me. So like I'm watching like every single thing. Yeah, I'm seeing the faces of the kids that are bombed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing that shit. I'm looking at it, bro.
Evil's right in our face every day.
Yeah. I've stepped off quite a bit because it's too much for me. I can't watch it all, Like, I can't watch the news all the time. I have to, like, throw in some sports or some funny memes or some stupid crap, like... Because if you look at that YouTube, there's just a bunch of, like, different, like, documentaries from all over the world. I'm watching stuff from all over the world. Like I just told you, I watched the Scientology stuff. Stuff like that.
I say, if God wants it to be our business, He's going to find a way to put it in front of us regardless.
Exactly.
If we're searching for it or not. So, and that's why it's like, I'm completely at peace with not having social media. And I look at the news briefly, but mainly I watch it in my patients' rooms when they're watching it. Or I do look at Israel news because, end times prophecy it's centered around Israel.
Yeah.
The Jews are God's, were God's chosen, as you read about in the Old Testament. But, we're all God's children. And so whatever's happening anywhere, it's His business. And if we know about it, we do what we can to give alms to those who need it. But
Right. You got stuff to do in front of you.
that's right.
That's the crazy part.
That's right. He puts in front of you what He needs you to do. As long as you're willing to say yes, you will never have a problem finding God's will. It just happens. You can't hide from it. So as long as you are willing to lay it out when it's put in front of you, He will put it in front of you. No matter how small it may seem,
Yeah.
no matter how ineffective it may be. So it's like, even if you just talk to one person, guess what? That one person is still God's son or daughter. Imagine how much you would do for any one of your sons or daughters, and you don't even have kids. I don't have kids, but I could already tell you right now, if I had a son, I'd take a bullet for him, easy. Right? And that's a love that on something that doesn't even exist. I mean, I can't imagine how much God cares for each and every single one of us then in that way perfectly.
What would you name your son? Kid
know.
that got me shot.
Yeah.
Maximus.
Maximus, maybe. Ugh. We've been podcasting for almost 2 hours now.
I could do this for a long time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Podcasts. I've done 4. I've done 4 hours.
4 podcasts.
But whenever you want to dip, just let me know.
Yeah, probably here soon.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I have any games
What
for
else do
you.
wanna talk about?
Something for the internet. I need you to play a game. I don't want to make a bunch of noise. I could have you. I need like a words from a wooden shoe or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I need something where I'm just like, this is everybody comes through, does like a thing, you know?
Oh, I got what you mean. He's like, yeah, some like
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody goes through the Ugly Franco gauntlet. You have to
like a staple game.
sniff this candle, but it's lit. So if you get too close, you'll burn yourself.
But it's lit.
Right. I've burned off 16 people's noses so far.
Only 16. Not bad numbers.
Two slinkies over there. You got any slinky tricks, bro?
Sorry.
Does anybody have any slinky tricks?
I don't know. If you do, I would say, I don't know.
I don't know what the.
Honestly, I can't put it down. I bet someone out there has a really cool slinky trick that would just blow me away.
It's probably true. Should we look one up? Nah, the keyboard doesn't work. Screw you. You're the worst.
Do you have an outro?
I mean, I've never done a podcast like this.
White on the with the Ugly Franco Show. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back.
Right? No.
That was straight an hour and 44 minutes, Jesus. I'm pretty sure.
Right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't push it too much, man, but then again, I hope I did.
Dude, he's never invited back.
True.
He pushed it. He pushed it too far. He made me think about cussing. Now I can't stop thinking about cussing. Talk about Jesus for too long. Jesus freak. Jesus freak. You wear it like a badge, yeah. You'd be like,
Right.
heck yeah.
My main badge, man.
I usually put songs over in post. So right now, a song could be playing.
Dude, these donuts were kind of good.
Dude, smack it. What have you eaten today? Yeah, that's the Ugly Franco Gauntlet. What have you eaten today? You have to tell me everything you've eaten before you leave. Now the music should be playing.
Arby's.
Play the music. On the mic. On the mic.
I had Arby's. Is it Euro?
For breakfast?
Euro. Well, I didn't get up till 6 p.m.
It's a gynecologist.
Night shift life.
It's a gynecologist.
What?
That's what you get. The thing that the thing from Arby's.
Oh, dude. I didn't
It's a gynecologist.
Yeah, you said that about the table, didn't you? A gynecologist.
It
Okay,
will
yeah,
fall
so-
over on your face.
So I did have a gynecologist, yep. And then, a crispy chicken, Swiss, and a couple donuts, man.
Okay, and he works nightlife, bro. This is a nightlife. Man, dude, this is the latest podcast probably I've done in a while. I'm so pumped. Huh,
Well,
okay. So you had Arby's
So where can somebody watch this at?
everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, you know where it is. Apple Podcasts. It's probably going to be on in the radio in your dad's garage, the one that never turns off. It's probably going to be on the Walmart speakers here soon. They're playing it right now for infants that are learning how to poop themselves for their first couple times. They're playing it audio over the speakers in the hospitals. Legend has it Auschwitz played this to torture people when that one guy was doing all those tests on Jews. Testing the Jews. Yeah. Cutting them up and making them listen to the Ugly Franco show.
Oh, bad taste, brother.
The donut? The donut tasted bad?
The Jews joke. Come on. Out of here.
I am 100% a comedian. I will say anything.
I can tell. I forgive you.
Dude,
All right.
this is not his last podcast. He's going to be back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Will you be back?
Yeah. I'll be back.
He will be back.
I'll be back in 12 minutes.
See you next week. Josh and Josh podcast. Hit that red button.